Every single day, people ask me how much XRP is enough. Is it 10 XRP? Is it 1,000 XRP? And will I be able to retire with that? Will I be rich? What's going to happen? Now, I will quickly state this. Whatever amount of XRP you needed has become significantly more expensive to get to than just a few weeks ago. I mean, we've been trading XRP for a long time, and you can see we bought it just a few days ago at roughly 280 or something. Right now, I still think we might break out towards the upside, which is why I'm not so keen to let this position go. If you also want to trade, by the way, link down below to Blowfin or WeX, just some platforms I use. But it basically shows one point. I believe the XP price is going to do really, really well, and I'm trying to get as much as possible, but for the most part, at juicy prices, when things are quote-unquote low. And when we're taking a look at it over a bit of a longer scope, it becomes quite apparent that just a little bit ago, a few weeks ago, for example, it was just at the low $2. Right now, when it dumps, it just goes to the low $3 or $2.80, the high $2. But then all the way back, well, all the way, it's not too long ago, just around December, for example, it started at 290, went down to 190, but that was already crazy high. Like before that, the first time we hit $2 was basically the start of December, and at the beginning of November, we had not seen above $1 in like a year or something. So it basically went from 50 cents to the $3.50 mark right now in the span of about 2 months. So absolutely crazy when you really think about it. But that also then means that the amount of XRP you need mostly still stays the same because we're trying to get to a certain goal, right? Rich, maybe a millionaire, maybe wealthy even. And when I think of the number of coins you need, I get quite uncertain. Why do I say that? Not because I can't just tell you a number and how much money I think it'll be worth, but first of all, because when are you rich? Very difficult question to answer. When are you wealthy? Not necessarily just with coins, right? Well, again, it kind of depends. And a millionaire, again, are we going to use US dollars? Are we going to use that? But more importantly, what is a millionaire in that sense, right? Is that enough? For most people, not enough to retire. It's just nice enough to be doing quite well, to be kind of rich in that sense. But most people I've spoken to here, and I talk to people all the time, they'd already be really happy if they make $30,000 off of the coin. And that make them feel really rich. So I'm thinking, what really is that number? So instead of talking about exactly how much XRP you need for any of those, I'll just explain to you guys my thinking process as to what I think is going to happen. And then you can basically use any simple calculator. You just multiply things with one another to know exactly how much money you'd have or what amount of coins you need or what price per coin you need to get to your goals. And I think a good starting point often is the XRP versus Bitcoin or XRP versus Ethereum charts. For the most part, because if you're looking at prices right now, you can see we've gone up a lot, right? But that is mostly in dollar terms. But also that is mostly coming from a very undervalued perspective. And let's take a step back. XRP got into a lawsuit on the 22nd of December 2020 against the SEC, which basically alleged that XRP was a security. They won it back in 2023 and afterwards won the rest also. But still, the lawsuit is officially busy. Now, as Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, resigned just yesterday or maybe the day before, and changes are starting to happen with Trump now taking office. Plus, like I just stated, the XP price just doing some crazy numbers. I should actually say, not plus is doing some crazy numbers. As a result of that, most likely, it's done some crazy numbers. It's gotten out of that extremely undervalued zone and gotten into slightly undervalued, mostly based on what I'm about to show you here. So if we're taking a look at this chart, this is XRP denominated in terms of Bitcoin. What becomes quite apparent is that it's significantly different than just an XRP chart. Well, an XRP chart looks like this. It shows that the XRP price has done really amazing recently, especially if you look at an XRP chart that includes even older data. For example, Bitstamp, it has the data from back in 2017. It showcases that on Bitstamp specifically, the price has hit an all-time high this week, but on most other exchanges, it never hit its, or at least it did not reach a new all-time high. But that also is a discussion for just now, or I should say in a little bit. When we go back to the XP versus Bitcoin chart, it paints a very significantly different story, mostly along the lines of the fact that it really didn't make a dent in the price history. And that is actually the same for XRP versus ETH. All we do now is take a look at how XRP has fared versus Ethereum throughout the last few years. what becomes quite apparent is, yes, XRP's done well. And no, XRP isn't in this extremely low, undervalued zone that it was at for the last few years, basically since the lawsuit happened around this time right there. Because after that, it's just basically only been down, and it really didn't actually go above the 2020 prices even right now. But that again is why we keep saying, well, even though XRP is not, let's see, from there it went down roughly 91% or something like that. Even though it's not at those levels, and it's already up like 1,000% in this time span, because basically Ethereum was at, let's just say, $3,000 when XRP was still at 50 cents. Ethereum is still at $3,000, and XRP now went to $3.50. But even from that, do you know that XRP was once higher than Ethereum was in the rankings? And do you know that XRP has been way more dominant throughout the years than many people realize? Even to get to the previous dominance prices relative to Ethereum. So this is, again, if you denominate XRP in Ethereum, it was at some point worth 300% more than it is today. So basically a 4x from where it is today. And that is just at current Ethereum prices, meaning if XRP right now does a 4x, so it goes from, let's say, $3.20 to $12, something like that, it would just basically be logical for Ethereum to be at 3.5K, which it is right now. But then if Ethereum is also able to do a 3x, going to $10,000, for example, well, then XRP, if we go to previous historically attained prices, it would have to also do a 3x to stay at those previously peaked out levels, which would basically be, let's just say, a 4x from right now, $12, and then a 3x because of Ethereum also going to $10,000. So that would basically be $30, $35, $36 or something like that, which would be very attainable this run. And I keep saying all these predictions as to, I should say high predictions of $20, $15, and people every single time in the comment section say, no, way too high, you're stupid, you're crazy. All I do is just look at what XRP has hit in the past. I am not stating that it will go back to those levels. I'm not stating that XRP will certainly, right, so right now it's 2,900 Satoshi. It will certainly go back and do a almost, let's just say, 8.5x to get to the all-time high dominance that it hit back in 2017, or even the lower one. Let's just say here, an 8x to go to this level, but let's just say a lower level, right? Let's just say a baseline. It goes to a Bitcoin dominance of pretty high, but right here, it's still a 4x. If Bitcoin then doubles from 100,000 to 200,000, so relatively, first it does a 4x, and then it again doubles because Bitcoin also doubles. That would put it at, once more, $12, and then times 2, so $25. And so now if I state that I want to get to €1 million, $1 million or something like that, and I think is going to go between $20 to $35, I'm going to say $28 per coin, I basically see that I'll need 35,000 XRP to get to my goal. But the nice part is, I'm not your financial advisor. I am not sure what's going to happen, but I personally think that prices as high like this could happen this year. I am putting my own target lower just because I do not want to be disappointed, and I want to have something that I'm almost certain is going to hit, whereas these prices are more towards the ideal side. But it is possible. And that's why I'm just thinking, hey, if I wanted to get to a goal, this is what I personally would kind of think of. It could go way higher. It could go even as high as 35, something along those lines. If something crazy happens, a crazy partnership, it could go even better. But it could also end up as low as $7 to $12, mostly because maybe the market turns around faster. Maybe there's new market shifts where people don't like XRP as much anymore. So if we want to be more conservative and we put a $15 target, but we only want to get to about 400,000, for example, we want to get to 400,000 because we want to buy a new house, right? And we just need $400,000 just. But we think it's going to go to $15 a coin. We only need 26,000 XRP, which still is a ton of money. But remember, guys, remember very, very well that to get to that 27, let's just do 27 real quick, 27,000 coin number. Just a few years back, XRP was about, let's just say 17 cents a coin, right? So it was only $4,000 that you needed to get to it. Right now, at the $3.20, it's significantly different what you need. But just in November, for example, it was only 50 cents. You needed 13,000. You can see how drastic of a difference it makes when you buy. That's also the thing, though. For example, right now, buying it at $3, or I should say at $3, we need ourselves 133,000 XRP to get to our goal. But once it gets to, for example, $27 a coin, we only need 14,000 XRP to get to our goal. And that's the nice thing about this as well. The reason I keep stacking coins and not necessarily think of how many dollars it is worth is because I know ultimately, at least those are my thoughts, these coins will be worth way more than what I paid for them now. So it's more so worth it to think of, hey, how many coins can I stack and what will they eventually be worth? Then, hey, how many dollars is it worth today? Is it more or less? No, I think more in how much did I pay for them, just to kind of get a good gauge. But I also even don't really need to think about that too much, because in the future, nobody remember, even right now with Bitcoin, nobody remembers if they paid $7. Okay, maybe they remember, but nobody cares if they paid $7 or $113 per Bitcoin, right? Right now, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you bought it $10. Oh, you bought it $100. Very freaking early, right? Or to be more accurate, you bought it $67? No, even way before that. You bought it $10 or $12. At the time, really, really relevant. People said, oh, but Bitcoin crashed from $21 to $6. Crazy, right? But now we're like, oh, 21 to 6, it's all basically the same thing. Nobody cares about that anymore. And I kind of feel the same way about Bitcoin with 90 and 60,000, where we all right now care about it. But if you look back, between 9 and 6,000, both extremely early. But at the time, I remember Bitcoin went from, let's say, 2,200 to 2,000 flat. And I was like, oh, it's down a lot. Oh, and whenever it moved from $7,000 to 20,000, it was up so much. Ridiculous. But then I look back now and think 7 or 20, it's all basically the same, because we're up such crazy multiples from that. But maybe even not right now that you're thinking this, but in the future you will. And I guess the same thing applies for XRP. At some point it was 0.003, and then when it was 0.01, for example, just so 1 cent, that was a crazy time, right? It went at 3x. But now when you think back, it's like, oh, it was really, really cheap, or oh, it was super, super cheap. Both not really relevant anymore at now $3.50 per coin. But again, I still see kind of the same vision for 10 years into the future, where if you buy at $1, $7, it's all basically the same, because at that point, it will most likely be such multitudes higher. Again, with Trump now coming in and everything changing about crypto, we do not know what the future holds for us. But that is my thinking process. That is how I go about these coins. And while I stack up to get to goals, because I kind of have it differently, I don't really have anything I'm saving for. I don't really have any goal of money I'm trying to get to ever anymore. We do have funny trading challenges though, and I just stack XRP on the one side and stack some of the coins. And here we sometimes have these shorter term trades. So we just buy, for example, with the idea to quickly sell. But on the other end, I'm not necessarily selling that often. But then again, if you want to, please, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and try to sell whatever you can and make as much money as possible. Even if somebody in the comment section tells you, don't sell, we're going so much higher. Or if I say that, if you right now are witnessing life-changing amounts of gains, maybe this $3 in XRP was all you needed to be rich and doing good, etc. Because again, we've still hit like a 7x from 2 months. Change your life with it. And don't feel obligated to hold because you want to please others in the comment section or whatever. Screw every single one of them. If you could change your life, do it. Because the price is not going to change because you buy or sell. It won't. Same for most of y'all. If you buy or sell, and if I buy or sell, nothing's going to happen to the price right now. It's way too big. It's way too liquid for that. All that changes is your entire portfolio, your balance, your money. And again, my goals are not necessarily your goals, but think with me here. Relative to Bitcoin, relative to ETH, we've had way better positions than we have right now. With all the partnerships, and now the door opened because the SEC's changes, etc. I think the potential is way higher than it's ever been, especially with Trump perhaps boosting some of the US companies in that regard. But hey, if you disagree, let me know down below as to why. Or just write a thesis, write a whole paper about it. But I really think throughout the last few years, I've cemented my thoughts quite properly. And again, every single time I've made these videos, they've been at lower prices than we're at today. There's not a single person out there in this world who could be down on their XRP unless they had the craziest buy streak where they sold everything at low and bought at $3.40. But right now at $3.20, I'd say 99.9% of the people are in profit, which is good. But now the real challenge comes, breaking over those barriers, really breaking over the $10 barrier, $5 barrier, and going towards crazy heights where we've really not seen it before. Because $3 trading at this for such a long time, we've never done. But I need to see a few multiples higher than that just to really be satisfied. And that is still also my goal. And that is also what I'm going to be waiting for. I've not sold a single XRP. But yeah, it's just because I think the run is not that far in. Trump just came in, the freaking bullish crypto president. I'm not selling here just quite yet. And it could all go down tomorrow, sure. But on my trade zero, we'll be picking it back up. And I think the funny thing is, because of the way we're trading this, even if my coins in my balance, right, my XRP just straight up goes down in value, the trades and the amount of money we'll be putting in here to buy the freaking dip and catch that wave upwards again will completely throw in the water all the XRP that I just own flat out. But yeah, that's a story for a different day. I do updates on these trades every single day, so if you want to take a look at them, check it out just by subscribing to the channel. But again, I'll see you guys again in another crypto video somewhere later today or tomorrow. If something new pops up, make sure you put the notification bell on so you're always notified. And that's about it for my thoughts.